Happy Sunday. As always, I am doing laundry. And obviously it is December 29th. So I want to make sure that there are no dirty clothes in my house. None. I haven't done a live in so long. But I just, I just really felt like it was necessary to just close out, and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, I feel like 2024 was a roller coaster ride for a lot of us, nationally, and worldly as well as personally, right? And I don't know, I feel like 2024 for me has been a year of growth, a year of quiet lessons and letting go. And truthfully, it was very needed. It was very necessary. A lot of times, I know for me in the past, I would always ask, like, why me? Why did this situation happen to me? Why was I involved, with this person? Why? It was always why. And the why was always followed with just a lot of anger and a lot of confusion and, frustration as to why me, right? I've been able to turn things around this time around because I realized that I needed this year to happen exactly the way that it did. And the thing about it is, I had to have this year happen in the exact way that it did from the time that I was fired from my job in February. And I kind of felt like it was this like domino effect that just kept going. ¡Ay, qué oso! And so I don't know, it was one of those things where I got fired from my job. And when I got fired from my job, I didn't really understand what was going on. And the reality was that I had not allowed myself actual time to really figure out what was going on with me. Oh my God! My live goal was reached. Thank you. I didn't really know what was going on with me, but I had never really given myself time to figure out what was going on with me. And of course, you guys still deserve a lot more videos of explanations and whatnot, but I've talked about it many times. I'm autistic and ADHD. And 2024 was really the year that pushed me to figure out, why do I keep getting fired? Why can't I keep a job? What's wrong with me, right? I didn't understand, and I wasn't able to have the time to really figure it out because I was always working. And the truth of the matter was I worked all throughout the pandemic. So I was an extreme neurodivergent burnout. I was an extreme autistic burnout. I was an extreme ADHD burnout. And I didn't know what that was. I had no idea what that was. And unfortunately, in my recent relationship, that brought a lot of issues that I didn't even know how to explain, because it wasn't that I was lazy. It wasn't that, I didn't want to work. It wasn't that I wasn't capable. I just didn't know any better. I didn't know what was going on with me. At the same time, I wasn't really able to understand my mental health issues. Growing up Chicana, right? I didn't really, that was never a thing, you know? And also, as I've talked about before, very religious, very, very religious. So growing up Chicana and in a religious household, you don't talk about mental health. You go to Jesus. You know, you pray to Jesus and Jesus is going to be the way. And please, nobody be offended, but y'all know I'm very sacrilegious, so I apologize beforehand. But that was the thing for me, you know, I was never given that out. I was never given that as an opportunity. I was never given that as an outlet. I just had to figure it out. And so I will never forget. It was maybe like, I want to say the week before the Super Bowl. And, I wasn't like, oh, I want to like, right? But it was one of those things where I was like, if I didn't wake up, I'd be okay with it, you know, or like if something happened to me, like I've made peace with that. And that really started bothering me because I was like, there's so much more to life. There's so much more that I want to do. Like, I don't want this to be it for me. And I remember walking in to Grady. And I mean, I broke down the minute that I even got to the receptionist. And I was like, I need help. I don't know what's going on with me, but I need to talk to somebody. And they got me an assessment that same day, you know, and it was really, really rough. It was just like an emotional vomit, you know. I just talked about everything that I was going through and how rough it was and how hard it was. And I found out, well, I mean, not that I found out. I mean, I kind of had an inkling that I was dealing with anxiety and depression and PTSD, but I didn't know to what extent, right? I didn't know how bad it was and how much it was controlling my life. So they told me, hey, you have you have major depression and you have severe anxiety. On top of that, you also have CPTSD. I'm like, cool, thanks, that's awesome. But again, I really wasn't understanding because for the last, maybe 3 years or so, I had been working in direct services and social services. I had been a youth advocate. I had been a case manager. I had been working very, very intricately with the community. And I was like, I can't do it anymore. And I don't understand why. Obviously, as I started doing my research and as I had the time to actually understand and learn about what was going on with me, I realized that it was one of those things where I was dealing with, now I can't even think of the word. See, that's what I get. But basically, I was forgetting a lot of the things that I knew how to do before. And that was due to my burnout. I literally could not even imagine doing the types of jobs that I had done before because even the thought of it was so overwhelming. I was like, I can't do it. It's not that I don't want to do it. I just know I can't do it. Mentally, I can't do it. Emotionally, I can't do it. Physically, I can't do it. You know what I mean? And, yeah, like it was really intense. And I did everything I could to figure out what the fuck was wrong. I sought out, shout out to, let me see if I can remember, Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency. They were the ones that actually got me my ADHD diagnosis. And through them, you know, they gave me a lot of support. They helped me a lot. And I still kept applying for jobs and, you know, trying to figure out, you know, what job was going to be the best for me, especially trying to get out of burnout, right? And man, I mean, we're sitting at what? So it was February, March, April. So we're into like April, May. And I'm like, what's next for me? You know, like where do I go from here? You know, I felt like my relationship was holding by a thread and my mental health was holding by a thread. So I didn't really know what to do. And TikTok was a big part of that. I've talked about it in some of my videos before, but it really, really helped me get myself out there, get myself talking to all of you guys, really being able to engage and interact and have the community that I was looking for and figure out there's nothing wrong with me, right? I was just going through a lot, and we live in such a society that tells you that if you're not being productive, then you're worthless. And being that I am neurospicy, neurodivergent, right? I didn't really understand that because my whole entire life I had been told, like, I gotta work. I gotta produce. I gotta make sure that I'm always doing something, because if not, you're lazy, you're a bum, you're not worth anything, right? And I hit that point in my life where I was like, I can't keep going like this. You know, some days were so difficult that I was getting out of bed at like 3, maybe even past 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like not even wanting to deal with life because it just felt so heavy. It felt so heavy for me. Additional to that, you know, I just didn't know like what I was supposed to be doing. You know, what kind of job was I supposed to be doing? I'd been doing all of these jobs and I knew that I couldn't go back to it because I just didn't have the mentality for it anymore. And I remember, you know, because I kept just getting rejection letters, right? Telling me, oh, thank you so much for, you know, inquiring about our position. But at this time, we've decided to go with somebody better qualified than you. And so I used to get those a lot. And that was also very crushing. And I remember, I want to say it was like beginning of June, that for months, all I had been doing was applying, right? Applying to all the jobs that I could think of, and like receptionist work and customer service and things like that. And I applied to this particular job in mental health as a medical receptionist. And I mean, it was like such a quick snowball effect because I applied for the job, like, I want to say Friday of like this week, right? And then by Tuesday of next week, I had been called in for an interview. By like Wednesday or Thursday, I went in for said interview. And by like that following Monday, I had already been called and said that I had the job. So it was like very like boom, 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 right? And I was like, all right, okay, all right. You know, maybe there was a reason why none of these other jobs were working out. You know, maybe there was a reason why I just kept trying and kept hitting a wall. And the reason was because I was allowed for the first time in my life to figure out my mental health, to figure out that I was neurodivergent and I was not neurotypical. And to be able to actually have the time to do the research and, you know, connect with autistic creators and ADHD creators and understand more about my journey and learn and see, you know, past situations and be like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. That's what I was doing. That's why I was doing that, you know. And then over the summer, you know, things were, again, I was starting to get more comfortable in front of the screen and getting more comfortable making content. Because in the beginning, I will say, in the beginning, I was not that I was shy. I've never been shy, But I was very like intimidated. I was like, do I even have what it takes? Are people even gonna like me? Like I didn't know. And I was a little worried that, I was, gonna like make a fool of myself, or I don't know. But another part of unmasking for me was not giving a fuck. Just not giving a fuck about anything. I just didn't care. I was like, how people perceive me has nothing to do with me. I mean, I would like to be experienced, but if all you can do is perceive me, your perception is not my reality. And I just started making more and more content and getting more and more comfortable. And in May, was it May? I want to say it was like either April or May, is when I got on Lexapro. And then by June, they upped my dose. And it was literally like a game changer for me, because as I've explained before, driving was like the most anxiety, like fueled type of activity that I could ever do. I mean, my anxiety would just get to be so much, like I catastrophized all the time. And it was so difficult because I was always thinking of like the worst case scenario. And it had nothing to do with me. I wanted to think better. I wanted to, want better. I wanted to think of the best outcome, but my brain wasn't wired that way. And so I just couldn't. Like, it was something in my actual brain that would not allow me to. And so I started taking my pills and things changed, learning that I was having a lot of autistic meltdowns because I didn't know my triggers and I was so overwhelmed so easily. I didn't really know how to communicate. I wasn't able to, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand how, because I didn't understand myself. And so this year has been such a year of like self-discovery for me. And, towards the end of the year, I also left a relationship, and it has just been, honestly, it's been freeing. I'll be honest about that. It's been freeing because I feel like I allowed myself to lose myself in the relationship. And another thing was that I just didn't, I really tried, because I didn't know what was going on with me. It was just so many different aspects of me and my life that I didn't really understand. And I was hiding so many parts of myself, because I was trying to make her happy, and I didn't want her uncomfortable, or I didn't want her to feel some type of way or whatever. But it was like piece by piece, it was like chipping at core parts of me. And that was something that it didn't really like sink in until I was like fully out of the relationship. And I was like, wow, and as I've had people who've known me since I was like a kid being like, what happened to you? This is how you always were. Like, who is this person? And so it's been a year of relearning. It's been a year of finding myself again, learning who I am. Not just who I am, but really who I want to be. And so, as cliche as it is, every year, right, we get to the end of the year and we're like, yeah, new year, new me. I always kind of like shied away from that, terminology, but I will say that I am changing, and I'm changing for the better. You know, I'm experiencing a lot, and I'm allowing myself to be as I am, and for people to really be able to see the real me, not the perceived me, not who people wanted me to be, but me. And it can be scary at times, for sure, because you don't know how people are going to react, or what they're going to think, or how they're going to feel, right? But being that I am in my mid-30s, I just don't give a fuck anymore. You know, my sanity, my peace, my happiness is my priority. Fuck who gives a, you know what I mean? Like, fuck anybody else who feels the type of way about it. And so I've been having to really, like, get to know who I am, you know, go out and experience different things and be like, okay, you know, I enjoy this. I like this. You know, this isn't who someone wanted me to be. This is who I am. You know, I'm quirky, I'm fun, I'm bubbly, I'm flirty, I'm nerdy, I'm silly, I'm goofy, you know, like, there's so many different things about me that I feel like I hid, and I tried to make myself small, you know. And so 2024 has been a year of growth, has been a year of quiet lessons, and has been a year of letting go. And for me, it has been a lot of letting go of what no longer serves me, letting go of people's perceptions of me, letting go of who other people want me to be, you know, letting go of societal expectations of me, letting go of where I'm supposed to be at this moment in time. You know what I mean? Like, that timeline that was given to us, and we have to, like, meet it at every milestone. I'm letting go of all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want soft. I want peace. I want joy. I want intentional experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want in 2025. And I just, yeah, like, I really did. I lost myself for a bit. I did. I lost myself for a couple of years there. But I'm getting back to me. I'm getting back to me. And I'm doing everything that it takes to get back to me. And as I'm relearning and unlearning, I'm finding so many pieces of myself that don't quite fit anymore. And that's okay too. Because we learn, and we shed, and we evolve. Because we don't stay stagnant. That's the biggest thing, is that we don't stay stagnant. We don't stay complacent. And I don't mean that in the sense of, like, bigger house, bigger car, you know. No, I mean that, like, inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing that none of this shit matters anyway. And that you have to be okay with who you are. That when you wake up in the mirror, I am, like, tweaking right now. When you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror, you're happy, you're content, you're comfortable with the reflection that's looking back at you. And I wasn't, you know, like, I wasn't, and I hadn't been for a long time. And so I just that's why I feel now like I'm shedding all of these layers. It's December 29th. So we got 2 more days? So I really, really honestly encourage everybody to really figure out, like, are you living for you or are you living for other people? Are you living for your spouse? Are you living for your partner? Are you living for your family? Are you living for your religion? Are you living for society? I think I did that for way too long. And I thought I was done. When I came out at 30, and I came out as lesbian, I thought that I was done with living for other people's expectations. And I was wrong. Because I allowed myself to kind of get sucked back into that, because I wanted to feel accepted. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to feel wanted. And I did everything that I could to try to get that. Like, I needed to earn it, right? But you don't need to earn it. It should come naturally, easily. It should flow. Because if somebody can't like you for you, then they don't deserve to be in your space. And it took me a really, really, really long time to realize that I don't need to be a bitch. I don't need to become somebody that I'm not. But I do need to be more selective of the people that get access to my energy, because not everyone is deserving of it. I'm not going to change who I am at my core. I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be that person that is loving and caring and, looks out for other people, because that's who I am. And I don't want anybody to change me. I don't want anybody to be able to change that part of me. But I do know that I need to be more selective. And as I become more selective, and I continue embracing all of the goodness that I deserve, that I know I deserve, another part of 2024 was this like push and pull with my relationship with money. And it was so bad. I just felt like no matter what I did, money made a hole in my pocket. I don't know if that's anybody else, but for me, money literally made a hole in my pocket. And I couldn't, it was so bad that I couldn't even keep up with bills, because I just had such a negative relationship with money. And so February was also such a key point for me this year, because it was the point where I started listening to the manifestation playlist on Spotify, Ching Ching Money Tree and Ching Ching Money Tree Part 2. And it really, really, really like completely changed my mind. It completely changed my mindset. Not only did it change my mindset, but like it shifted something in me where I was like, you know what? I'm deserving. Everything flows. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not this push and pull with money. I'm deserving of abundance. I'm deserving of blessings, because the divine and God and my spirit team, they all got my back. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really, 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 once again, rewire the way that my brain thought about things, and to know that money comes and money goes, but money flows through me. I am the currency. And once I started changing that narrative in my mind, that's when I started learning, okay, I can have money for bills and I can have money for things that I need and things that I want. You know what I mean? And it was a huge shift in my mind. And that became my new reality. And so once again, there were so many things that I needed to let go of in 2024. You know, narratives in my mind that no longer served me. Ideas and a belief system that was no longer conducive to the life that I was trying to live anymore. You know what I mean? A relationship that no longer served me. It was just so many different things. And as we get ready to close out the year, I am excited. I'm excited for the first time in a long time. I'm excited for what 2025 holds. I'm excited to get to know myself more, you know? I'm excited to create new memories and have intentional experiences with people and places and things. You know what I'm saying? To get intentional about your life. I feel like so many times we're like this character in our story that we're just kind of sitting by the sidelines and watching everything happen. I want to be an active participant of my life. You know, like I want to be able to be intentional about everyone I meet and everything I do and every experience that I create, because I am the creator of my own destiny. And so as I walk into 2025, I am filled with so much hope and so much excitement for what the future holds, for what this new life is going to look like for me as I continue doing this content creation shit. Like, whether it's on TikTok or it's on Fanbase or anywhere else, like, y'all gonna see Chicana Speaks, you know? And I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. I don't know where life is gonna take me, but I know one thing is that I will never allow myself to make myself small for anyone, because I shine bright. If I could talk right, this could actually be a lot better. But I shine bright like a diamond, and I don't dim myself for no one. And I really hope that if you're a diamond in the rough, you allow yourself to shine. You know, get to know yourself, who you are outside of other people. Not a mother, not a daughter, not an employee, not a sister, not a brother, but who you are at your core, and get excited about it. Because this life is just too fucking beautiful. I say it all the time in my lives, but like, I don't even feel like I have experienced not even the surface of what this life is. Not even the surface. You know, I want to travel more. I want more experiences that fill me with joy. You know, I want to do so much more, because all of this is going to go one day, and all we're going to have is the memories. And I want to have a life well lived. I don't want regrets. I don't want to be in my 70s and 80s and look back one day and say like, damn, like I wish I would have, I could have, would have, should have. Like, I don't want that, you know? So that's my rant for today, because as always, no one ever comments on my lives. But once again, if you are new here, go check out my videos. You know, I am neurospicy. I am a student of life. I love to learn. I'm gay as fuck. And I just want to make each and every one of your lives just a little bit better. And I hope that I can do that. I hope everyone has an incredible Sunday and has an amazing end of 2024. And we're all able to have a better, softer, more deserving 2025. Mwah.